Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds. And today we are responding to 8-Bit Glitch's question: what are the top 5 items you want in your collection and don't have?
So we kind of broke ours into categories just because I didn't want to rail off 5 video games.
It's really difficult. It also, like, there's so many things that we want. It's actually difficult to isolate them just to the top 5. But before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
That's right. So we broke ours into the categories. So we each picked a console, we each picked a video game accessory, we each picked a video game, we each picked a board game, and we each picked a action figure / collectible.
I would say that they're both just collectibles.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go first?
Okay, so for my console, I picked the PlayStation 5. Honestly, there is an element of wanting to have something that you can't, because we can't get our hands on one. But also on top of that, we want the PlayStation 4 and it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting 2 consoles in one if we can get a hold of a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that pushed us towards PlayStation 5 over Xbox. I mean, we have 360 and Xbox One. And I do eventually want the Series X. I just figured if I'm going to spend big money on one of them, I'll spend the big money on PlayStation 5, so I get access to the entire PS4 library, and then later on get the Series X.
So for the console for you?
For me, it is the Sega Saturn.
That one is also a difficult one to get a hold of.
Yeah. I don't think I've. I think I've only seen one online once on Facebook Marketplace, and they won it
$300.
Yeah, pretty penny for it. So I was a huge Sega Genesis fan growing up, but yeah. But so when it came to the following generation, you know, even as a kid, I was like, this whole 32X Saturn, you know, which one are they really going with? I think just really turned me off, and so I went with PlayStation, and that was my next console. So I've never played a Sega Saturn in my life. And I know Shining Force 1 and 2 is my favorite role-playing game on the Genesis, and Shining Force 3 was a Saturn exclusive. So but that is a very expensive game. I think it's 120 loose.
That's a lot for a game.
It is.
You really got to make it worth your time if you get that one.
Well, it's a role-playing game.
So, the accessory that I chose was the NES Zapper. Although we can't play it because we don't have...
We have a CRT TV.
Right.
But it's flat glass and it's not curved. So
I want to play Duck Hunt though.
I think we have Duck Hunt, and I think we have Hogan's Alley. So those are 2 games. So when we ever get a Zapper, because I'm sure eventually I'll buy a Nintendo Lite and there's going to be a Zapper in it. We'll go out and find a free small CRT TV and play it. I don't know where we're going to put it.
Free. They're actually people are actually charging for them now just because retro gaming is picking up so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at the time that we got we paid $50, right?
No, $10.
$10 for our giant TV.
Yeah.
Because people are just wanting to get rid of them at that time. But then
the TV is probably 400 pounds.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, who is a professional mover, saw, like, the TV was on its side, and all he saw was the bottom of it, and knew within 1 second that it was a Sony. He called
because he's moved so many.
He called it a Triton Ton instead of Triton Taunt. But it's a great TV. It works for everything except the zapper.
Yeah.
So.
And for you?
For me, this is a really broad category because we've got several systems that can play it. But I want Rock Band controllers. And what's funny is I feel like I used to see them just all the time everywhere.
I mean, you can still find like the guitars at Goodwill and stuff, but I just don't see them the way that we used to.
Mm-mm. So I think, Mary and some of our friends would get a lot of kick out of playing some old school Rock Band.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get the full, couple guitars, drums, mic. Like we've got the drums for the Wii, a mic for a PS2, guitar for a 360. So it's like they're kind of all sprinkled, and I want a full set for each system.
We want to form a family band.
That's right.
But we wouldn't be very good at it. So
who's going to do vocals?
Not me. Grace. Let Grace do it. Do not let me do vocals. I cannot sing. You don't do it either.
My voice is so deep that when I sing on there, it's just like goes straight to the bottom and just grinds the whole time.
Yeah, and I cannot sing. I will admit it, just straight up. So won't even try. For the game that I would choose is the Super Nintendo Sim Ant, and it is somewhat hard for us to find. We haven't found it yet. And Doug keeps reminding me that, when we get it, you're going to be really disappointed because it's not going to be like you remember. I remember it pretty clearly. And I just we're having an ant problem in our house right now, and we had it sprayed. And so every time I vacuum, I think of Sim Ants and the ants running away from the vacuum cleaner. And I'm like, are these poor ants?
Yeah.
Where are they? I'm vacuuming them up, and it reminds me of that game, and it's very nostalgic for me. So I want to play Sim Ant again. But I'm just a really big fan of anything Sims, like The Sims, Sim City, Sim Earth, all of those, like anything like that. I'm interested in it. All generations.
Yep. For me, the game was Mutant League Hockey for the Sega Genesis. I have Mutant League Football. Growing up, my cousin, I had Mutant League Football. He had Mutant League Hockey. And both are just absolutely phenomenal games. I know they had a cartoon. Might have been only 1 or 2 seasons before it was eventually cut, just because they couldn't show the violence.
Find it on the internet now?
You might. Well, I'm trying.
Just find it on the internet.
Right? Yeah. You might find some bootlegs somewhere out there. Because I don't know I don't think it was very successful, so I don't know if it would have got like a DVD launch, maybe. But Mutant League Hockey is pretty expensive and pretty tough to find. You can find it on eBay. You can pretty much find anything on eBay. But something to find it out in the wild. And so eventually the urge will bite me hard enough that I'll just buy it on eBay if I don't find it. But that is one game I really want to add.
Yeah, it's the thrill of the hunt sometimes for us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I could probably just easily go on eBay and get all of these things, but it's kind of fun to hunt for them and find them. And, I got a good deal too.
Yeah.
That's especially me. I'm a couponer.
Yeah.
So
I used to coupon today, didn't I? Thank you very much.
I gave him the coupon.
I punched into the computer.
So for the board game that I pick, back when Fresh and I first started going to
Steady,
but also we would go, it wasn't gaming conventions, it was more like
board game meetups.
Yeah, board game meetups. So this was one of the first board game meetups that we went to, and he reminded me ahead of time, don't be shy, just don't be afraid to just walk up to a table and just start playing games with people. So that's what I did. And I walked up and I sat down with this guy, and he was like, hey, you want to learn Chinatown? and we had never heard of this game before, and it's a 3 players or more trading game.
It's 3 to 5.
Yeah, and so that does make it difficult for us because if we were to get the game, we need an extra person here to play it with us. But we just really, really enjoyed it, and after we played it, we're like, we would really like to get this game, and didn't realize it's actually very difficult to come by because it's an older game, and it is popular because it's a good game.
Right.
So that's a game that I've had on my list for several years, is Chinatown.
I know Z-Man Games had talked about doing I think a third print run of it. And then I think when that was bubbling up, COVID hit, and COVID just wrecked the board game. You know, a lot of stuff is made in China and shipped over, so board games took it on the chin really hard with COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that just got canceled or delayed.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything more about it.
It's basically, I describe it as a good Monopoly, where you're trying to collect. It's like a trading and area control game where you're trying to collect full blocks so you could build great big shopping centers or great big restaurants or great big factories or office buildings, whatever, but you're trying to get these big group sections together, whereas Monopoly you're trying to get, you know, all three of the colors.
Basically the people with the most real estate win.
Yeah, well I think it's money, but you get money from the real estate.
Right, it's based on, when I say real estate, it's like based on how many tiles you have on the board.
Is it? I thought it was money.
Well, tiles are pay money tiles, right?
Yeah. There might be a point system too. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a point system.
The board game I am looking for, and I've seen it several times, is Fireball Island.
The reboot, right?
I would take either. The reboot will be significantly cheaper.
Yes.
So it's still not a cheap game. I know they did a great big Kickstarter for it, tons and tons of expansions. I think at that time I wasn't really messing with Kickstarter all that much. Like I said, you could find it. It's pretty pricey, and I haven't found it for a price I'm willing to pay. But I do think the kids will get a kick out of it. You're climbing up a mountain, and there's climbing a volcano, and there's this volcano, and it will rotate around and shoot these red, they're not marbles, but they're plastic balls, and try and knock down your pieces and stuff. So I think the kids get a kick out of that.
So for my collectible, it is, and this was actually very tough because, and honestly, I can't, it might even just depend on the day which one I would really want, because it could change tomorrow on which one. But for today, the collectible that I would like is the Polly Pocket Starshine Palace Sparkle Surprise.
It's a mouthful.
It is. And for me, it's always Polly Pockets. There's some super
Mighty
cool
Max.
There's some Mighty Max out there that I really want, which is also made by Bluebird. And then there's this Polly Pocket that's shaped like a jewelry box that's really cool. There's a couple of them that are shaped like books, and one of them's got like a sunken ship in it that I thought was really neat. And there's another one that is shaped like a grandfather clock, and it has an actual working clock in it. But the Starshine Palace Sparkle Surprise, I decided was the one that for today I want to be the number one that I want. And it looks like a giant jewel, almost sort of a perfume bottle look to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
She showed me a picture of it.
It's pretty and sparkly.
So now that that's out of the way, let's get to some real cool stuff. So I'm trying to think of how old I was. I should have looked to see what year this toy came out. But it was basically the last toy I got as a kid. It was the Megatron Beast Wars action figures. This was the purple dinosaur, not the later ones. That's like more robot. This was like 100% dinosaur, and he transformed into the robot. And I remember I got it for Christmas. I want to say 96. It's the year it's in my head. But
so you were like 30 years old then?
You stole my joke. I do that all the time. So, I remember, my great-grandmother got it for me. And I was excited about it when I told her about it. And then, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months passed until Christmas. And I remember getting it on Christmas and remembering it. And I don't think I ever played with that toy. I mean, I probably played with it the day I got it just to, save face in front of my grandma. But it was like, I'm on to girls and music. I'm 13. I don't need this Transformer. I'm too good for that. I'm too cool for that. So,
I still play with toys. You still play with toys. I know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying at 13, not a ton of 13-year-old boys are still playing with Transformers.
No.
So, and I grew up a little faster than most. So that's one that I'd like to have back in the collection. I don't know if I'd go complete box. That would be pretty expensive, and I don't think it would have a clamshell. I think it would be.
We've seen it before, though, right? Out of box.
Yeah.
Is that the Kokomo toys?
I think it might have been at the Kokomo Toys place. Was it 150?
I don't remember the price.
Or 75.
When I know that the price is going to be high, and I don't even bother to look. So, oh wow, what a nice thing that I can't touch.
It was behind glass.
Yes, we weren't gonna bother.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe one day I'll find it in like $40 to $50 range.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll randomly find it at Goodwill. I have found random Polly Pockets at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Gotta keep your eye out, though.
Well, I'm going to link 8-Bit Glitch 79's original video in the description. And feel free to comment down below what you think of our choices, or if you want to make a response video, we'll put out an open tag like he did. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Pumpkin.
Yes.
Did you do anything special for 420?
What did we do? It snowed. I worked. I think the special thing that happened was that it snowed. Did I do anything special? No. No, thank you.
What about that big old fat bong hit you took?
Yeah, right.
Smoke was coming out of her ears.
And he's just mistaking for the temper tantrum that I threw.
Is it Barstool Sports? Pink lemonade vodka? Hit me up.
It's New Amsterdam. Or vodka. Is it New Amsterdam?
Yeah,
or
but
just
I think
Amsterdam
it's
vodka.
I think it's New Amsterdam, but I think they partner with Barstool Sports.
Oh, okay.
Which is Pat McAfee's.
The strawberry lemonade. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very, very good.